Well, friends of Mundo Maldini, let's tackle the topic of Kylian Mbappe. We're going to make this video about Kylian Mbappe. We are going to analyze in depth what is happening to Kylian Mbappe. And we will have a very interesting comparison that will reveal things that will surprise you and are very significant about Kylian Mbappe. Logically, I am not going to compare Kylian Mbappe with the Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain. It would make no sense. What I asked the machine, and you will see later, is to compare and analyze what comes out for Kylian Mbappe from the months already in Real Madrid, of course, from August and September, when he started the league and European competitions, with the Mbappe of the last month, the last week, when the decline began in October and early November. Mbappe, who started at Real Madrid with the current Mbappe. And be careful, because the things that come out are very, very revealing and very, very interesting. And we will also analyze, of course, with some captures, the reasons why. We are going to demonstrate many things, or at least we will try. All right, let's go. Well, let's go, friends of Mundo Maldini. I know you are waiting, and we are going to analyze it in depth. This should be taken with a bit of calm because we are going to analyze the data as I believe the topic of Kylian Mbappe deserves. The first thing I said is, as I mentioned, we need to look at this calmly. Let's give time to this radar, which I find very interesting. What I told StatsBomb is to highlight in red the current moment of Kylian Mbappe. We are talking about the league only. That is, from approximately September 27th until the last league match. I told him to tell me till October 31st because it is only the league, meaning the Real Madrid versus Milan match does not count here, but it does count afterward. Here, the 4-0 at the Bernabeu against Barca does count. And in blue, we have the start of the league season for Kylian Mbappe. I told him that from August 4th to September 15th, then there was an international break. Here, all the league matches that Mbappe has played are included. I insist in red. I want to explain it well in red. The last month, 1 week of Kylian Mbappe in the league. And in blue, we have Kylian Mbappe, who started the league until approximately an international break. In mid-September, correct? And here we are including all the league matches. Well, the difference is staggering. The drop that Mbappe has experienced in the last month and a half is shocking. Shocking, I insist. In red, the current Mbappe. In blue, the Mbappe from the start of the season at Real Madrid, approximately the first month and a half. Well, look at the shots, look at the shots. I insist that the blue is the start of the season. He was shooting much more. The blue covers the red. Logically, the red here, you see what is below is exactly the current average shots of the last month and a half. That is to say, Mbappe has decreased. He is shooting half. But look, for example, touches in the area. These touches in the area, here you see them in blue. The start of the season, the first month and a half of the league, an outrageous number, 12.9, currently 4.6. Meaning he is practically not touching the ball in the area, not shooting and not touching the ball in the area, practically nothing. What else do we have? For example, dribbling. Look, he has stopped dribbling. He has stopped dribbling in the first month and a half of the league, 2.2 and currently 1.10. In other words, he has practically stopped dribbling. I insist on the topic again because I find it very, very, very interesting. Look, shots, touches in the area, many more at the beginning of the season, the first month and a half. Shooting is the same. He has stopped shooting, touching the ball in the area, and practically shooting. It is outrageous what Kylian Mbappe is currently doing. Outrageous. From a negative point of view, Mbappe's decline has been alarming, absolutely alarming. It is tremendous. Let's even see it in data. You will see the data here. We are going to put the data here. We are going to try to see them here. Here you see them. Notice that at the beginning of the season, he made 5.19 shots per game, and now 2.89, half touches in the area, 30,475, 0.7 in the last matches. I mean, it's a tremendous decline. But I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to show you something else that I think you will also like regarding Mbappe, which is quite significant what we are going to do. What you are seeing is the comparison of Kylian Mbappe throughout the league. Not just the final stretch where he is worse, but the entire league. From the beginning of the league with the average of the forwards in the league. I mean, here we are not comparing with players in other positions. This is Kylian Mbappe in the league at Real Madrid this season against the rest of the forwards. The average of the league, of the forwards in the league, obviously, and here is where I want to go now, as well obviously shoots much more. Surely in the last matches, not as much, but he obviously shoots much more. Here we have it. I'm going to enlarge it a little. The red is Mbappe. He shoots much more than the league average. We are seeing the entire league, not just the last matches now, and the touches in the area as well, logically. The touches in the area as well. You can imagine that if I only choose the last month and a half, as you saw before, it will be practically the same as the rest of the league. Now, the most concerning thing is that look at the pressure. We are only talking about forwards. The pressure that forwards exert, off ball pressure, from the rest of the league is quite acceptable. Mbappe, nothing, zero. But zero is zero. He is practically not pressing. We see that he doesn't even leave this initial circle. The blue is the league. I think it is being understood quite well. That is to say, he dribbles more, of course. It is evident that he dribbles more than here. You have it a little smaller. Let's see it here. He dribbles more than the rest of the league, that is for sure. But it is tremendous how he practically does not press. He practically does not press. He practically does not win aerial balls. But fundamentally, the issue of pressure, and he practically does not do it logically, since he does not press, he does not win balls as a result of the pressure. Look at the average. This is the average of the pressure. I am reiterating the topic bit, but I find it very interesting because sometimes it is a bit harder to understand and see these graphs. Now we are going to see other very interesting graphs as well. So we can clearly say without fear of being mistaken in the slightest that Kylian Mbappé is not pressing. And I believe that a player like Kylian Mbappé, if he loses the ability to shoot, if he is not shooting in these last matches, if balls are not coming to him in the area, and on top of that, he does not work without the ball, it is evident that Kylian Mbappé right now is well below the required level at Real Madrid. This does not mean that tomorrow against Osasuna, he will have a match and score 3 or 4 goals because it is Kylian Mbappé. I am not saying that Mbappé is bad. He is a phenomenon. Precisely for that reason, Real Madrid has to be angry. This performance from Kylian Mbappé, which is not solely Kylian Mbappe's fault. I want to say one thing. Let's go with the topic of pressure. Here we are seeing some images of passivity, not only from Mbappé, but from the team, in this case also Vinicius. But Vinicius is a player who works much harder off the ball. But look at this pass. This pass is one that goes very close to him and he doesn't even move. He is really just watching the pass. This is Reinders coming to receive against Milan the other day. Reinders coming to receive the ball, and Mbappé is practically just watching. We have cases. I know that without the exact image it can't be done, but here we have him very passive, not pressing the opponent's exit. Kylian Mbappé is waiting here in this match against Milan. Let's see another one here. Look, they broke the line very easily. There is Brahim, and Mbappé is looking here on the right. And Real Madrid, it is true that they have the defense quite high, because it is true. But look at how easily Milan breaks out. I said the other day in the Movistar broadcast that Real Madrid is making some players who are good, like Reinders, who is a very good player, seem infinitely better than they are because of how comfortably they are playing. And that is what cannot happen. That is what cannot happen to him. Here it is again. They have perfectly broken out of the passing line, the two forwards, and there is no pressing attitude, even though Madrid's defense is quite advanced, as you can see here. But no, that is not just Kylian Mbappé, it is the entire team for Kylian Mbappe's support. To not say everything negative about Kylian Mbappé, I want to mention one thing. He is being heavily criticized for being offside a lot on the day against Barca, but whenever you are offside, it is not always the forward's fault. Many times it is the fault of the one passing the ball, because of course when you play against a defense that is advanced and playing on the edge, it is evident that the passer has to be much quicker. This is the famous goal that was disallowed with a score of 0-0 at the Bernabeu against Barca. Here, Lucas Vázquez takes too long. He takes that second to make the pass. Mbappé starts well. Watch out. He often does it wrong, but in the end, it is that Lucas Vázquez gives him the pass late, and logically, they get caught offside by a millimeter. The other day against Milan, I was constantly watching him as he was making runs to get open until, after none of them practically saw him or passed to him, I think he got fed up and stopped doing it. This image we see here is somewhat saying, well, but the team also has to help him more. This is not just about him. It is evident that he is well below the required level. That is very clear. I want us to also look here. I am going to compare August and September 2024 with October and November just a little bit. Here, the Champions League matches are being included. This is Y-Scout, and look, 7 goals before and now only 1. When I say before, you understand the first 2 months of the league season. Expected goals, look, 9.01 expected goals. First 2 months of competition, 2.27. This means that neither Real Madrid nor Mbappe himself is able to place Mbappe in positions to score goals. Say, right? Expected goals have dropped significantly. This means that they are increasingly having more difficult chances to score. That has a lot to do with all of this. Let's continue with more things. Because if we go here to the shots, look, shots per 90 minutes in the first 2 months of competition, 5.52. Here I have removed the matches with the national team, which haven't been many because he has missed 2 call-ups, but well, 4.13 per 90. It has dropped quite a bit in shots. He is shooting less. And from much more difficult positions to score. Notice the percentage of shots on target in the first 2 months, 49.02, now 40.91. He is crossing more, that's for sure. Dribbles, he is dribbling less, as you have seen, 6.175 per 90 minutes. 82, I think. All of this clearly shows what is happening with Kylian Mbappé. Let's go to the defensive actions, which we already have here. Notice, defensive duels, defensive actions. 0.97 per 90 minutes in the first 2 months, and now 0.56. It has decreased, meaning he is making fewer defensive actions. He is having more defensive duels, which is not the same. Per 90 minutes, a little more, but defensive duels won a lot. 75 to 50 in the last matches. He is winning more aerial duels, but he wins very few aerial duels. This is very little. This is hardly significant. Tackles 0, intercepted shots 0. That is to say, we are seeing a decline in Mbappé defensively, as he does not press logically, so he is also much worse. And if we look at key plays, we already have it here. Well, the most interesting thing to me here is that in key plays, 0.54 per match in the first 2 months, and now 0.19 in pairs. The last third is quite similar, but they make many fewer key plays for everything we are seeing, logically. Both for 100 passes to the small area, also fewer, and 0 through balls in the last matches. 0.43 before, that is 50% to 0%. Through attacks per 90 minutes, 2.06 before, and now 0.75 thousand. It is much harder for them to find him, and also logically, when they do find him, he is often found offside. If you are offside, the play is completely nullified. Neither the run nor anything counts. Of course, that is a very logical reality. In short, I feel, friends of Mundo Maldini, that Mbappé is in a very difficult moment. That Real Madrid has to help him. But he is a player with the potential to improve and grow. Tomorrow is a match against Osasuna, a tough opponent, but logically it is a match for Mbappé to at least try to regain some spirit. Then he will not be called up, the French national team will be able to rest, but Madrid needs Mbappé. Mbappé is needed. I have already mentioned quite a few things. It is not only his fault, but a large part is his fault. The issue of runs that I told you about, being offside. Many times it is the passer who has a bad day and it ends. As he knows that the pass will be given to him late, he often gets desperate and is the one who enters and is not well on the line because he does not trust. All of this is happening to Kylian Mbappé. But the truth is that we are seeing a much weaker version of Mbappé in the last month and a half. He used to finish much more in the first matches. Now he has even stopped finishing. Anyway, I want your conclusions and your opinion. A hug. Bye.